Since I have a Canon M50, which I like a lot, I've got quite a collection of lenses. The one I'm using here at the moment is the 11 to 22 wide angle zoom lens. I've got the Sigma 1.4 16mm, which is fantastic for gathering light in low light conditions. This one is the Canon 55 to 200, great for wildlife and getting close up. This is the standard lens that comes with the Canon, which is the 15 to 45. A very nice lens anyway in its own right. And this one is a 22mm that goes down to f2 as well. So it's a lovely, lovely lens. That's a fixed lens. And the one I'm using at the moment is the Canon 11 to 22. So it's a little bit windy today. So that's the 11 to 22, but this time I'm not using the M50. The camera I'm using at the moment is the M6, which I'm trying out now. So this is the M6, but the vlog I'm going to show you was done on the M50. A lot of people will buy a camera like the M50 and they'll go out and they'll just use it on automatic and not go into the settings because they're not confident enough to do that. So what I thought I'd do was I'd take it out and see exactly what I was getting on automatic and how I can tweak it in post just to see what I can get. And this is the result. Come on, come on. They don't like me. Well, here we are. We're walking along. Bont's got a new X-ray vision going. And I've got my new slightly X-ray vision going, but I haven't got any sunglasses, but look at her, black eyes. It's interesting that when you set the camera up, it just takes a few seconds to set up, so it's not instant.
Is it dark or is it my glasses?
It's your glasses.
No, but just to take these shots, it's a bit dull, isn't it?
It's quite dull in here, yeah. Well, your lenses are very, very dark.
Wow.
Now that looks pretty good to me. The funny thing is the lens isn't actually looking at me, but on the screen it looks like the lens is looking at me. Really strange, it's off to one side. That used to be a nice place over there, but look what the farmer's done, it's terrible. And there's a huge mole over there. We're being very naughty and we're going to take this path down to the pond instead of being on the road. Actually, I've just thought, this is the way to the bench under the tree.
Yes.
Well, it's very pretty. They've done this nicely, actually. That's where we're heading. We've got a junction, so we're going to go right. And hopefully this will take us to the bench, actually. It's like following the yellow brick road. So here we are, there it is, the bench that we've been looking at for 8 years and never sat on. Here we are, the bench. Here we are, like a couple of old codgers, sat on the bench, me sweating and huffing and puffing, and Helena laughing at me. Poor old man. We can see the pond from up here, which is quite nice, because normally we don't see it from this angle. It's really pretty. Yeah, this is the path here that I went up. We came down from the path up there, and then we came down around this house into the pond. Yeah, it's grown over a bit. It wasn't like this when I came down with Alan. Here we are, the pond.
Oh, they're lovely.
Nice horses. The little one's lovely.
Yeah, little one, yeah.
No, he's swimming, he's all right. He's a little baby coot, isn't he? Yeah. Hello, my friends. There we are. As soon as you realise I've got no food, you'll be off. I don't think I've seen it this scummy ever, actually, to be honest. Yeah, everything just suddenly takes off, doesn't it? That fella down there, he's not coming near us and he's not going near the others either, is he? He's a wild duck. Well, no, I reckon the pond has got a lot of food for the ducks. I mean, they'll eat that algae, I think. So that's like Sunday lunch over there for them. Back through the hole. They are public footpath. It wasn't anything like as grown over as this when I came through with Alan. Oh, I can hear a cuckoo. Now for this shot, I've got the microphone in my top pocket, and I think actually that will work just as well.
The East Surrey Walkers Group of the Ramblers in association with Surrey County Council.
Oh, so this has been improved for us. I thought so.
Maybe they mowed it.
Yeah, because you're allowed to go down there. See, you're worried about nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't like upsetting people.
No. Well, this is exciting. We're going a different way and hoping it's going to take us home. So we go up the field and then what? Right, we're off the official path now, so Bont is feeling very nervous.
Yeah.
She's feeling like a naughty girl, but I don't care. So you go up to the top where that fence is, turn right, and it takes you through the woods, across a little bit of a river, and then up And I can't think of the name of that little villagey bit where they had all the COVID stuff going on. Those crows are going a bit nutty. Damien. We're back to Damien land, but they've just cleared off again. So when I was with Alan, we came along that road over there.
Oh.
We came along here, along that house, beside that house. And then we came out down here. That still goes over there. So we went from still goes right the way around the field, past the house down on the left. And then there's the house. And then, yeah, that's it. That's the way we went. It was quite a way. It's a hell of a walk, to be honest.
Other than please leave the gate as found.
Well, if someone leaves it open, then you've got to leave it open. Stupid, isn't it? Yeah. Back onto the road and home again now. As you can see from the results of me going out with the Canon M50 and just flinging it around like a GoPro, you can probably see some of the shots aren't that great. They're okay. Some are blown out in the highlights, whatever. Things happen. That happens with the GoPro. That happens with every camera, really. The things that I found with this camera, the M50, was first of all, the contrast levels in the sunshine were massive, absolutely massive. Now, I would suggest to anyone who's beginning to drop the contrast levels by at least 2. So if you go into settings and go into the picture profiles, press I for info, take down the contrast, go down to contrast, select it, go left, 2. I actually used, in the end, I tried it out later on and I went right down to the very bottom, and then that gives you more leeway to tweak it in post. So that's one tip I would say with the Canon. It's got a lot of contrast, and just taking that contrast down, to be honest, on all of the profiles works quite well because it's a very contrasty camera. I think my roof is actually coming in. The other thing I found was it was blowing out on occasions, and you've really got to keep an eye on that. So you need to find out how to do the level, just up and down the level if you're on automatic. You are in danger of blacking out the blacks too far, but if you do that, at least you've got nothing blown out. If you're worried about, look at the faces particularly, if they're blown out, then obviously take the exposure down and don't worry about the background. So that's just a quick switch on the camera that you can just get on there and change the exposure. You can up or down it by a little bit. Bear in mind, if you've changed the color profile to something with less contrast, you've got a little bit more leeway, and that makes things a lot easier for vlogging. As far as stabilisation goes, the Canon is okay in comparison to many other cameras. I think it's probably quite good, but the digital in-camera stabilisation I found would be better turned off. So there's a standard stabilisation and there's a digital one. I just went to the first level. I found that actually with the digital switched on, you get some weird artifacts. In fact, on that video, I turned it on and off at different places. So if you see a funny sort of twitching motion when I'm moving around, it's probably the digital IS kicking in. Obviously, the stabilisation on a Canon M50 is not going to be anything like a GoPro, but I just wanted to see if this camera could be used as a fling it around type of camera used on auto. Now, the results, as you can see, are not too bad at all. I did a little bit of tweaking, and in post, I played around with contrast and saturation levels, and you can get a really quite pleasing result. As far as sound goes, all I did was I put a lavalier into my pocket or onto my chest, and I just plugged straight into the camera, and that works really, really well. In spite of what people say about the preamps in the Canons, the lavalier going straight into the Canon sounds perfectly acceptable when you're outdoors. The only thing is whether it sounds acceptable when you're in a studio situation, when it's dead quiet around. I'm not so sure, because I don't generally do that. I would go into a recorder when I'm at home. But outdoors, it really doesn't matter. So you can use a lavalier straight into the camera and it works fine. In fact, put a microphone on the top of the camera and that's going to work as well, just as well. Be nice if you've got some boosting in the microphone so that the camera does less work, though. That's always the case with most cameras. So it can be used for vlogging. If I'm honest, it's quite heavy. The stabilisation isn't the same as a GoPro. You get a higher profile and people are more aware of you because it's a slightly bigger camera. But actually the M50 doesn't do too badly at all. Now I'm trying out the M6 just to see how that compares to the M50, and that will probably be coming up in the near future now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers for now.